Hi, this is Chitra, and you're listening to Hello Educator. A rare astronomical sighting is going to take place on the 21st of December 2020. This event is a spectacle that is going to be visible after nearly 8 centuries, and we will be able to observe it with our very eyes. Let's listen to Obli Chandran, who is here today to brief us about this occurrence and how we can spot it from our homes.
Hi Mango Science radio listeners, Obli Chandran here again. It's been quite a while since I spoke to you guys, but here I am back again. The reason I'm talking to you and recording this episode is because in about 10 days from today, this date of recording, or about 9 days from today, we have a celestial event that happens in quite a long time. Normally, you've heard of the terms once in a blue moon or once in an eclipse or once in a lifetime sort of phrases that you hear. Yes, so we are about to witness one such an event, but that cannot be described by once in a blue moon, because blue moon you get to see them maybe probably once in two or 3 years, and once in an eclipse you can get total solar eclipses, for example, which are rare, but you can get them every 2 or 3 years at some point, some place on the earth at least. So these are not truly rare events. When you talk of rarity of events, let's say once in a century, or probably literally once in a lifetime, once in 70 or 80 years, those are like really rare events. So we're about to witness an event that is not even a once in a lifetime event. Of course, it is once in a lifetime for us because we won't be alive when we see when the next similar event happens. But this particular event that I'm talking about was last observed in the 12th century. Like that's nearly 800 years ago. Of course, this event that I'm talking about has happened in early 17th century as well. But when that happened, it was visible. It could be looked at only during the daytimes, which means like you can actually not, even though that's happening in the sky, you cannot see that because it's daytime. So last time it happened during the night time, where it was actually could be seen, was in the 12th century. So we have a similar event happening on 21st December 2020, which actually can be seen after about 45 minutes after sunset on 21st December 2020 in the direction southwest. Okay, I'm talking about, probably you've heard it in the news as well, is the great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter planets. So the conjunction means when two celestial objects appear to be closer in the sky, you call them conjunction. Okay, so you can imagine the entire hemisphere, you have 4 directions which you can identify: east, north, you have south and west. Okay, you can say, let's say from north to south, like horizon to horizon on the other side. You can imagine it to be an entire semicircle which can be split into 180 degrees. Okay, so each let's say then say the horizon is 0 degree, then you slowly come up by 10 degree, 20 degree, and when it's 90 degree, it represents overhead. Okay, then as you go beyond overhead to the other side, then you get 110, 120 degrees, and eventually when you hit the other side of the horizon, it is 180 degree. Then the other half of the circle, which would go the other way, go further down, would complete 360 degree back onto the east or whatever side you started with. Okay, now with this understanding of the entire night sky being split up into 360 degrees, now each point in the sky can be allocated a specific set of coordinates. Like let's say like how you have latitude and longitude, you have similar different set of coordinates that you can use, set of 2 numbers that you can use to identify objects in the sky. Now normally these planets, okay, sometimes they can appear anywhere in the sky depending on which month of the year and where Earth is around the sun. So sometimes it can happen that the planets can appear to be very close to each other. How do they determine how close they are to each other? It's by the angle between them. Okay, normally conjunction happens, for example, between Saturn and Jupiter, they get close once every 20 years or so, 19.86 years, but once in every 20 years they get closer. But how close? Probably few degrees, or like 5 degrees or 10 degrees, which is quite far. Maybe few degrees, 3-4 degrees also, but from our point of view they are going to look quite close in the sky, but still 3-4 degrees is quite a lot. But it happens occasionally, that extremely rarely, like the one that is we are about to witness on December 21st, that they are going to get so close that the angle between them is going to be less than a degree. In fact, it is 1/10 of a degree. You have a degree and that degree is broken into 10 equal parts. That one equal part is so small. So from our point of view, when you look in the sky, Saturn and Jupiter are probably going to be sitting on top of each other. So how is it going to look like visibly? Well, we have to wait and see, but it is possible that we can see those two planets like two distinct points of light, but literally sitting on top of each other. So close that you might even get a feel that they're actually going to touch each other. But in reality, they are not going to be touching each other, or they're not even close to each other. It's only from our point of view, they appear to be close. It's like when you're driving on the highway, you see a few trees along the road. One tree is closer to your car and the second tree much further away. But when you're driving along the way, you might see that the other tree, which was way beyond, might appear to be appearing behind the first tree or the trees that are closer to the road, because depending on how you drive and the angle from which you look at those trees might appear to like line up behind each other, or they might appear to be away from each other, depending on how you look at which angle you view it from. Since the earth is moving around the sun, now our vantage point or how we observe Saturn and Jupiter keeps changing, because we are also continuously moving around the sun. So from a particular vantage point, the planet Saturn might actually appear to go right behind or get very close to Jupiter, but in reality they are separated by several millions of kilometers. But from our point of view, they appear to be touching each other in the sky. That is exactly what is going to happen on 21st December 2020, and we are going to see something that is not once in a lifetime, probably once in 12 lifetimes, because assuming 80-year lifespan or a 70-year lifespan. So given the last time it happened in 12th century, you can say it's once in 12 lifetimes opportunity. So this is something that we do not want to miss it. And how do you look at it? Is visible from throughout everywhere in the world, and you will have to look at southwest direction. So okay, it is much closer to the west. It's like between southwest and west. So the sun is going to set in southwest direction, because we are also closer to the winter solstice. It also happens to be on the same day as winter solstice. Winter solstice is the day which is the shortest day for people in northern hemisphere, and it's the longest day for the people in the southern hemisphere. So this event also coincides with the solstice. It's again another rare event that it happens. I don't know how rare is that. It's probably even more rare. It's probably like thousands of years, not just 800 years, like coinciding winter solstice with this special event. But nevertheless, you look at the southwest direction, west-southwest direction, and about 45 minutes after sunset, look, even before sunset, they are going to be up in the sky, Saturn and Jupiter. But since the sky is going to be too bright, you can't really see them because the sky is going to be bright. But about 45 minutes after sunset, the twilight is going to set in, and under those twilight conditions, those two would be starting to be visible, and that's the best time to look at it. And from 45 minutes after sunset, you can keep watching them about an hour or so after that also, till they set. They're going to set about an hour later or 2 hours later after the sunset, but you keep watching. We'll also be trying to live telecast the entire event on Mango. Of course, this is subject to the weather conditions, and hopefully we can look out for good weather on that day, so that we all don't miss out on this wonderful celestial event. So any questions you have about this conjunction, please do let us know in the WhatsApp. We'll be glad to answer that. So happy winter solstice and once in 12 lifetime celestial event of the great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. So see you next time with another interesting piece of story or information. Until then, goodbye from Obili.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. To receive your daily dose of science stories, don't forget to subscribe to Mango Science Radio. We welcome stories from across the globe, so if you're a science enthusiast and would like to contribute to Mango Science Radio, please WhatsApp us at 99522 43541. Your feedback is valuable and keeps us motivated, so feel free to share your views in the form of an audio message on WhatsApp. Thank you so much for listening to Hello Educator. Remember to tune in for the next episode.